Welcome to Literary AF Podcast.
Whoa, Feliz Navidad. Wait, that one's not Happy New Year. What's Happy New Year?
I have no idea.
Wait. No, I forget. Okay, Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
This is Literary AF Podcast. My name's Sheldon.
I'm Danny.
And normally we talk to you about books, but today we're talking about, books still.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were... Okay, yeah.
It's after the Christmas season.
The last episode of the year.
Yep.
And it's episode 50. That's pretty crazy. We managed to do this 50 times.
That's true. And we're already up to 50,000 fans.
That's a bit of a flub.
Bit of an exaggeration.
Bit of an exaggeration.
But we're over 0 fans.
Over 0, which is honestly
frankly
more than I thought.
Very impressive. Well, today is the day when we look back on the year.
Yeah.
In books.
Thought it would be fun. You know, last day of the year, we can go back through what we read, like what we liked the most, and, stuff like that.
Yeah. And then, we can go through. We're looking at our Goodreads accounts.
Yeah.
Which we both mostly keep updated.
I update mine constantly.
I forgot to update my last book on here, but other than that, it's pretty accurate. At the very bottom of my page, it says, you read 8 out of 12 books for the year. There are still 2 days left. You can do it. It's more optimistic than I am.
I mean, if you wanted to read a bunch of short stories, you totally could.
That's true.
It would totally count those.
And also, I haven't updated Christmas Carol yet, so it should be 9 out of 12
You could read 3 short stories in 2 days.
I might. I probably won't. Anyway, so we're going to go through this and just kind of have a more chill discussion.
Yeah. So Goodreads has like a My Year in Books page, which it's like my favorite thing about Goodreads. Every year at the end of the year, I check my Year in Books.
Yeah, that's my favorite part about Spotify too.
Yeah.
For music, not for books.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So.
So what's your... Okay, so at the very top it says how many pages across how many books?
Yeah. I've read 19,791 pages across 60 books this year.
Oh my gosh.
That's not including the 2 short stories that we read for last week's podcast episode.
Oh, horrible. Mine is also a number. Okay, skipping on to the next thing.
Do you want to read these first, and then I can read them, and then you maybe won't feel so bad?
No, because then I'll just feel bad later.
What do you got?
I got 4,155 pages across 8 books. But it is worth mentioning, you had a job where you could listen to audiobooks all day.
Yeah.
Mine is like physical pages that I read in free time.
Yeah.
So it's not quite...
I had to listen to audiobooks at my last job all day long.
Oh.
So it was pretty sweet.
Yeah, my one old job, I used to get to read books all day long, and it was so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And then now I have to do work when I'm at my job.
I can still listen to audiobooks at my current job, but I'm still, in training.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't really want to take my focus off what I'm actually supposed to be doing.
That makes sense.
So my reading has slowed down in the last couple months, but it'll get back up there.
Good, because in 2020 we got lots of big stuff planned. What's the shortest book you read?
The shortest book I read was, I guess not including the short stories that I read last week, because I don't know how long those were.
Mm-hmm.
It was Halloween Boo by Sarah Spade, which is a Halloween short story about a ghost.
Does it say how many pages?
100 pages.
Ooh, not bad.
Yeah.
Well, I guess mine would probably be Christmas Carol, but I haven't updated that yet.
Yeah, so what is it without Christmas Carol?
It's in Different Stars Above at 288 pages. Yeah.
So that's still decent sized, even for your smallest book.
Yeah, my smallest book is bigger than what I would have read, in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
What's your longest book?
My longest book, unfortunately, Breaking Dawn by Stephanie Meyer, at 756 pages.
Incredible. Oh, worth it.
What was yours?
Mine is Don Quixote at 1,023 pages.
Woof.
Yeah, well worth it. And not sarcastic, for Breaking Dawn.
So you read less books than I did, but you read bigger books than I did the majority of the time.
Yeah, a lot of the books I read were monsters, David Copperfield and Don Quixote.
Yeah.
And even Like, Death Comes to Pemberley wasn't super long, but it felt very long.
Yeah. Oh man, that was this year.
Yeah.
This has been a long year, man.
Wuthering Heights, that was another one.
Wuthering Heights, yeah.
Oh.
We can go down through the rest of the books that were read this year because there's like a whole row of them after.
What's your most popular?
My most popular was The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins.
Oh, mine was Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins.
Oh, I never finished Mockingjay, so I didn't put it on my list. I read half of Mockingjay.
And I didn't bother rereading Hunger Games because I felt I knew it.
Okay, so how many read The Hunger Games?
For Mockingjay?
Yeah.
2,285,000.
Oh, okay. So the people who read The Hunger Games was 5,944,000.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
That means like
People
half the
started
people
the
who
book,
read The Hunger
yeah.
Games were like, nah, no more.
They read the first one and then maybe petered out on the second one.
What's your least popular?
My least popular was Man vs. Durian by Jackie Lau,
Okay.
which was read by 88 people.
Whoa. That's very underground.
It was an arc that I received. It was really good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she's like a smallish Canadian author, and I got an arc of the book. So
Oh, fun.
yeah.
Mine was Indifferent Stars Above, and it was 11,000 people.
Okay. Wow.
Um,
What's your average rating for Goodreads 2019?
3.8.
Oh, okay.
Apparently.
Okay. Mine's 4.2.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like most of my books I gave it around a 4 stars.
We could break this down later because there's a stats page you can go to that has like how many books got which number of stars.
Ooh, fun.
My average rating was 4.2 because I tend to rate things really high if I like them.
Yeah.
And if I don't like something, I'm not going to finish reading it, so I don't rate it.
See, for me, it's like 4 star is something that I like, 5 star is something that I love.
Yeah.
So it's like, Rebecca was a very good book, but I didn't love it.
Yeah.
So I gave it 4 stars.
Right.
Whereas David Copperfield, I absolutely love David Copperfield, so I gave it 5.
Right. I started the year rating everything a lot higher,
Mm-hmm.
and then as the year's gone on, I think I tempered myself a little bit.
Yeah, that happened with me with movies. And because I watch a ton of movies and I have this site called Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Where you can write reviews for the movies and rate them and stuff
It's
like
like Goodreads, but for movies.
It 100% is.
Yeah.
And so I like to just do that to keep because I hate that feeling where you're like, oh, I know I saw this movie, but I don't really remember it. Then someone's like, oh, how was Zoolander 2? And then I'll be like, I barely remember that movie. I think it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, really? It was terrible. And you're like, oh, I don't remember.
Oh no, I said the wrong thing.
So if I look on my letterbox, I can be like, oh, actually, that movie was the worst. Actually, that movie was pretty bad. But yeah, so I start doing that. And I find every once in a while, I'll have to watch a movie that I know is going to be absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
To reset my mind so I'm not getting too negative.
Right.
And then if I have to watch something that's very, very good every once in a while to refresh my palate of oh, this is what a good movie's like. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Okay, what was the highest rated book that you read?
The highest rated book that I read was Where There's Smoke by Cole McCade.
Okay.
Which is the 6th episode in an episodic crime drama series. It's really good. They're a really good series.
Mm-hmm.
And the way the author kind of has these books set up, I think I might have talked about this before.
Okay.
But he's kind of styled it after a crime drama TV show where there's seasons and then each book is broken down into an episode of that season.
Oh, I see.
So the first season was finished this year and he started the second season 2 months ago.
Oh, okay.
And I think he has 5 or 6 seasons planned or something.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. And they're good books.
Nice.
So, yeah. What about you? What's your highest rated book on Goodreads?
It was Rebecca by
really?
Daphne du Maurier, yeah.
What is that at?
A 4.18 average.
Oh, this one's at a 4.57 average.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I feel like Rebecca might have more. It has a total of 407,000 ratings.
Okay.
So there's more people. It's a more, I don't know, more accurate reflection of
Yeah,
me?
yeah, that makes sense.
And it was on Goodreads list of top 100 books.
Okay.
Which I think that's how it ended up on my to read list.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
What was your first review of the year?
My first review of the year was Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston.
Oh, I remember that episode.
Yeah, because I had an arc of that book, and that book got extremely popular.
What was do you remember the episode number?
No, I don't.
Let's say episode 6.
No, it was it was definitely later than that.
Okay.
I would say it was like came out mid-year, so.
So start at episode 6 and just work your way through until you find
Yeah,
it.
just listen to all of them. You'll find it.
Wait, that was your first review of the year?
It was my first review of the year. Yep.
Oh, okay.
This. It was a 4 out of 5 star review.
Yeah.
I think now if I reread it, I might bump it down to a 3-star.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, my opinion on it kind of changed with time, but
Yeah.
I feel like going back and editing it now would just kind of be.
No, I never do that.
Yeah.
I have to reread it and then like reassess because like there's tons of times where it's like I'll like a movie or something when I watch it and it gets like this strong feeling, and then when that feeling goes away, it's like, oh, actually the movie wasn't so good.
Yeah.
But like the feeling is part of the experience, so you
Yeah.
can't just get rid of that.
Yeah, so when I read this was like in my review I said it was a 4.5 star book rounded down.
Yeah.
Now I think I'd maybe say it was like a 3.5 rounded
Rounded
down. Yeah.
Okay. Mine was Don Quixote.
Oh, yeah.
I rated 4 stars, and it's because I really liked the first half, and the second half was a little iffy.
If you read it again today, would you rate it the same?
Probably, but
Oops.
we're gonna have to edit out that whole chunk.
I got too excited looking at my phone.
No, I think actually I don't know if I would, or I don't know if I would read it again. Actually, at least not for a long time, because it was so long that like I couldn't imagine devoting myself to another 1,000 pages of that. Like, you keep making fun of me for devoting myself to Les Mis again.
Yeah, I'm not making fun of you.
Oh, you're always making fun of me. I hear you upstairs.
I'm not making fun of you. You can hear me mocking you through the floor. But
hear...
Sheldon's reading Les Mis again. Can you believe it? He
you
loves
believe
that
it?
stupid book.
Like, no.
What a nerd.
I'm sitting down here crying, reading Les Mis.
Your copy of Les Mis has tear stains on the pages.
I actually wouldn't be surprised because that ending of that book is
That's fair.
Heart-wrenching.
That's very fair.
But yeah, I can't wait to reread that one. But yeah, but it's like it's 800 and some pages.
Yeah.
The abridged copy that I own.
Yeah.
And so even that is a chore to reread. I couldn't imagine rereading 100 or 1,000 and some.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. That's like the last interesting thing on here for mine.
Here. Well, if you go to your stats, we might actually have to do this in a browser window instead of the mobile window.
Ooh, fun.
But if you go to Goodreads stats, I think you can just punch that in and it'll pop it up.
Ooh, using my laptop.
Oh, if you're doing it on your laptop, go to Goodreads and then go to your books. And then there should be like a little stats button on the left-hand side of the window.
Okay. And, recording's still going. Usually when I use the laptop to look up anything, it
Stops.
destroys the recording. So you said something on the left side of
Yeah, so if you pull up My Books, open your My Books there, and then there'll be like your shelves and stuff on the left-hand side of your window. Underneath there should be My Year in Books and stats and things like that.
Oh, reading stats?
Yeah, that one. That's it. Yep.
Let's view the details.
Yeah, and then you pop open the details, and it's like, these are all the books you read this year, and here's what you rated them.
Okay.
So, like, mine is a lot more populated than yours is, but...
Well, let's not judge too harshly. So what's your lowest rated book for this year?
My 2 lowest rated books, there's 2 tied at 1 star. Can you guess what they might be?
Were they Twilight books?
They were indeed. They were New Moon and Eclipse.
Really?
Yes.
You liked Breaking Dawn better than those 2? I
liked the first one, and I liked Breaking Dawn better than those 2.
I think if I was to rate those books, actually I have at some point, but I don't want to go back and find them. I think I rated Breaking Dawn and New Moon as the 2 lowest.
Okay.
Because Eclipse at least has some like action and some like stuff going on, whereas New Moon is sad and has like a lot of wandering in the forest and trying to kill herself to like get Edward to pop up.
Yeah, I put that one at the bottom. Definitely. No.
And then Breaking Dawn was just the very ending made me so mad of like, ooh, big showdown. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, guess what? Alice is back and she can prove that everything's okay. So we can all just go home and no need to fight.
Yeah.
And the bad guys are like, okay.
I'm not sure why I gave that 2 stars instead of 1 star, but I did what I did and I'm not going to change it now.
Oh, I don't have a single 1 star from this year.
Oh, really?
Because I only read 8 books. What's your... I have my 2 star. My lowest book was Death Comes to Pemberley.
Okay.
And it's not because I necessarily hated the book. I just felt like as a mystery, there wasn't much for the reader to solve. And also, I felt like she could have done so much more with the characters from Pride and Prejudice.
Mm-hmm.
And instead, it's just like a pretty basic like murder mystery.
Right.
That just so happens to have Wickham and Darcy involved.
It's only slightly related to Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what's
my non-Twilight related lowest rated book?
Sure.
It's A Picture of Dorian Gray.
Oh, yeah, I could see you not liking that book.
I gave that one 2 stars. So it's right up there with Twilight and Eclipse or Breaking Dawn.
I think I have that book rated fairly highly.
I think you do too.
But that's because it's more like my style.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just not my jam. That's all.
I have it rated as a 4-star book.
Yeah. I actually only have 2 books in the 3-star category.
Ooh, what are they?
They are Shadow's Claim and Sweet Ruin, both by Cressley Cole. From the Immortals After Dark series.
In 3-star?
Yeah, 3 stars.
My 3-star is Mockingjay.
That's it?
That's it.
Really?
The majority of books I read this year, I put them as 4 stars.
What was your problem with Mockingjay?
I don't remember. Let's see.
Did you write a review for it?
I did.
Okay. I'm trying to count how many 5 stars I have, because that's my biggest category.
A lot of it's me talking about how I feel about the other books.
That's not the best way to write a review, but...
Well, I didn't like the whole stuff that was going on with PETA.
Yeah.
I hijacked by Tracker Jackers. And then I wish that they had more of a games thing at the end. I felt like the whole ending, remember, they'd cram everything into that last 100 pages.
Yeah.
And then it's like, they spend the first 200 or 300 pages doing nothing. And then the last 100 is like, guess what? Everything's happening now.
Yeah, I remember that. I didn't read Mockingjay this year, but I did read it in high school.
Oh, okay.
And so I have read it. I just did not finish it. I read half of it this year.
Yeah, so it's like I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
But I 3-star.
Yeah, you 3-star liked it.
I very marginally think it's okay.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what is... Well, if you have... Most of yours are 5 stars, right?
Mine are all... So I read 60 books this year.
Yeah.
And 7 of them are 3 stars and below. So, I have 29 5-star books.
You know, I feel too with books, unless you're reading outside of the genres that you like.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, oh, I don't like this book, but it's because I don't like horror books or whatever. Like, for the most part, you're going to have positive ratings because...
Yeah, that's the thing is I read books that I know I was going to like.
Yeah.
I didn't waste my time on something that I was unsure about. Because I only read romance books mostly now. And I'm still new to the romance genre because it's huge.
Yeah.
So I've been picking romance books that I want to read because I know I'm going to like them. So it only makes sense that all of my reviews were 4 and 5-star books.
Well, and also, too, like, so just the way the publishing process goes, it's like I don't feel like there's too many truly awful books that get made.
Oh, there's some bad ones.
There definitely are some bad ones, but it's like the bar is, like, there's some checks and balances in place to, like, okay, we're only going to publish, like, a book of certain quality.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, with movies, it's kind of like... this person has enough money to make a movie, they can just make a movie and put it up online or whatever. Or they can just throw it on Netflix or whatever.
Yeah.
But with books there's still like a bit of a bar. I don't know. That's just my theory on why there's so many more high-rated books as opposed to high-rated movies.
Oh, I think if you went like diving through Kindle Unlimited stuff, you definitely have a different opinion for sure. Because anybody can put their book on Amazon to sell it.
Well, and that's why. Yeah, that's a different thing. That's why I'd say like the published books are of a higher quality. Like there's a different bar being set.
Sure. I read some self-published stuff that was pretty good, but most of what I read was like big name stuff.
Yeah.
Or stuff from authors that were recommended by other authors that I really love. So I went in with recommendations, which I think is why my reviews are so top-heavy. Mm-hmm. The lowest rated stuff was stuff that I read for the podcast.
Read purely for the podcast, yeah.
So that's yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at my previous years. This is the lowest amount of books that I've read.
Really?
Well, since I've been kind of out of school.
Yeah.
Because when I was in school, I was reading lots, and then now not as much.
Right. I have 4 years recorded on Goodreads. Mm-hmm. I read 6 books in 2016, and they were just, they were some rereads of some Tamora Pierce books that I knocked out in like a weekend when I decided I wanted to reread some Tamora Pierce books.
Yeah.
2017, I read 19 books, and they were more Tamora Pierce books that I read because I wanted to reread Tamora Pierce books, and some manga. Mm-hmm. And then I lost my job that year, which is why I went from 6 books to 19 books.
Oh, yeah.
And I read, like, Felicia Day's autobiography. And then I started reading romance books.
Yeah.
Like, the first romance books I ever read were in that year. Last year I read 20 books. Mm-hmm. And this year I read 60 books.
So mine is, I had Goodreads since 2010.
Yep. And
from 2010 to 2014, it's like 2 books, 3 books. 1 year was 7 books, but it wasn't a lot. During that time, I had a job where I could read a lot at work. Mm-hmm. So, like the year 2011, when I had 7 books, I believe I was working night shift at that job, so I had a lot of free time to be reading books. And then in 2016, I started reading again, and that was also the year when I realized that I could put books that I was reading in school on Goodreads, because we had to read like an English degree, so we were reading a lot. And then I was like, oh, I should just start putting books on that. So then there's 8 books that year. 2017 had 30 books.
Okay.
2018 had 11 books, and then 2019 is down to 8. Yeah. Man, I read some good stuff the last year. Look at that.
Yeah. It's pretty solid. I mean, it's been an interesting year.
Yeah.
There's been a lot going on, so I think I probably won't read as many books next year because my job is not as chill as it used to be. Yeah. But I hope I can still get up there. What are you gonna do for your challenge next year? What's your goal?
Usually I just say 12 with like the idea of reading one per month.
I think that's what it defaults to, is 12 books. At least it would for me.
Okay, well, I don't know if that's... Maybe I'll just stick with the default then.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind, like... We talked about for some of the stuff we kind of want to read for the podcast next year. Like, talking about going through some of our old, like, childhood books.
Yeah.
And, like, if we're rereading Redwall books or Goosebumps books, like, you can do that in an afternoon.
Yeah, you can knock them out real fast.
So...
Did you ever read Deltora Quest?
No, I don't know what that is.
It was Scholastic Books published, like, super... I was a child when I read them, but it was like a baby's first adventure story where these 3 guys go out on an adventure and they have to gather all these stones to fill up the magical belt, and then he's got to go reclaim his kingdom because he's a prince, and they turned it into an anime once.
Okay.
Which was a huge surprise, but nobody I know has ever heard of those books aside from myself. So I've been trying to find somebody else who's read them. But We should check out one of those, because it'll take maybe half an hour to read one. They're small.
Yeah, well, I know for sure I want to take a look at Redwall to some degree.
Yep.
Goosebumps and Animorphs.
Animorphs, yep.
Those are 3 childhood series that I'd like to revisit a little bit.
Yeah.
I also really want to reread some of my favorite books to talk about on the podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm rereading Les Mis now.
Yeah.
I'd really like to take a look at Count of Monte Cristo again.
Okay.
But that one's also another very long book.
Yeah.
And
you do like those long books.
I do. I might reread Three Musketeers again. I really liked that one. I want to say when I was younger, but I think I read it 5 years ago.
Okay.
So
Well, you were younger.
I was younger.
Technically,
5 years
you were
ago.
younger.
I was approximately 5 years younger.
You were younger yesterday, if you want to get technical about it.
No, actually, I was older yesterday than I am today. I've got Benjamin Button disease.
Oh, no.
I just caught it, though.
Just now?
just yesterday, actually. Yeah, so there's a few that I want to reread. The Idiot, because I always talk about how much I like it.
Yeah.
But I realized last time I read it was 2012, so that'd be a nice one to reread.
Okay, I think we talked about that one on the very first episode we did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was one of my
Your
Desert
Island books. Yeah.
Also, Age of Innocence is very similar to a Jane Austen book.
Okay.
So I'd really like to reread it and or try to trick you into reading it. It's good.
All right.
But yeah, so we got some plans for next year.
Yeah.
Are there any series or anything that you're looking forward to next year or that you think you might want to read?
Nothing that immediately comes to mind because I've started most of the series that I've been I gotta read this right now.
Yeah.
I haven't finished most of them, so maybe I'll finish some of them. There's a new Immortals After Dark book that's supposed to be coming out that I'm super excited for.
Awesome.
It was supposed to come out this year.
Yeah.
I was supposed to release summer of this year, and then she sent out a newsletter when it was supposed to be out saying, oh, it's coming out end of the year this year. And then last month she sent out another newsletter that said, okay, it's coming out summer next year.
Okay.
Here's the cover. So at least there's a cover of it now. I'm a little more hopeful. I just want Monroe. That's what the book's called.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. One day.
I think I might... I've been feeling lately like I should be reading more Stephen King books.
Okay.
Because the only one I've read is Pet Sematary.
Okay.
And
I've been wanting to reread it.
Yeah, it's one of them. I want to read Carrie. I want to read
yeah.
The Shining.
Okay.
I want to read... What's that one?
Which one?
That Stephen King book.
Can you remember what is in it?
No, it's totally gone from my mind. I had a list of 4 or 5 of them I wanted to read of his.
Okay.
That are just kind of culturally important or whatever.
Okay.
But
Signs or whatever. Was there? No, the Tommyknockers was the alien one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was aliens.
I don't
know.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, that's one thing I've been thinking of reading next year. We'll see how much time I have.
Yeah, it's well, most of them are more reasonably sized.
Yeah.
But
Misery was one I was thinking of.
Oh, Misery, yeah. Have you seen that movie?
No.
That movie's so good. Kathy Bates.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Yeah.
The Green Mile, people talk about that one a lot.
Yeah. There's the Dark Tower series.
I've heard of the Dark Tower, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few of them that I'm just I've heard so much about this, but I'm not actually, familiar with it. So I'd like to change that next year.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything... How can people find us?
They can find us on Twitter, LiteraryAFPod. We're also on Facebook, Literary AF. You can listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Podbean, Literary AF. And our Gmail, literaryafpod@gmail.com.
And we upload to Instagram Live for 10 hours every day on Danny's account.
I have an account, and I also have one for the Twitter, but I have not used the one for the Twitter, so it's just kind of sitting there.
Yeah, we'll restructure our social media in 2020.
It means you're just going to yell at me to do more social media in 2020.
Yeah, I'll get instated as an admin and then just retweet my normal tweets. Anyway, thanks for listening. Have a good year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And catch us in 2020 when we will be reading even more books.
Hopefully.
Yeah, maybe slightly less.
We'll see what happens. Bye.